Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte, and today we're going to be going over some end-of-the-year stuff. This is a very stat-driven video. We're going to be going over the standout goalies in the year of 2021. That includes the current season we're in right now, and what I like to call the 2021 season, because we didn't have any games in 2020 for that season. It was the 2021 season, earlier this year, that season, and the stats up to this point this year. So who were the standout goalies this year? And we'll be going over that today. Now, you could probably guess based off of the jersey I'm wearing, you probably have somewhat an idea of some of the goalies I'm going to talk about today. Two of them, one of them still a LA King, one of them is a former Los Angeles King. We're going to be going over the former Los Angeles King first, and that is Jack Campbell, who is currently the starting goaltender of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now he's done in 1A, 1B option with Peter Mrazek, but Peter Mrazek was injured to start the season, which meant a lot of Jack Campbell, a lot of overload, playing a lot of back-to-backs, 2 games in 3 nights, 3 games in 4 nights. He played a lot of hockey, and he has put up some pretty solid numbers. Now, at this point, he's already played 22 games this season, and he's got a pretty impressive record, 15-5, and then they lost in overtime or shootout twice. So he's got 15 wins to his name, which is tied for the most, tied for third in the NHL this season, only behind Andrei Vasilevskiy and Freddie Anderson. So he's in a 3-way tie right now for that third spot, alongside Tristan Jarry of the Pittsburgh Penguins and UC Saros of the Nashville Predators. And that may be a precursor to the other guys we'll be talking about today. Now, looking at his numbers, it's no denying Jack Campbell has some really good numbers. A .937 save percentage, which is obviously one of the better stats in the league, and a 1.94 goals against average. He has 3 shutouts already to his name. Now, this is a goalie that was injured last season, so there was some concern, would he be the starter? And that was something that a lot of, especially Leafs fans, were very on the fence. With losing Anderson, how much could Jack handle? How much could he handle as a load per season? And he seems to be doing that really well. Obviously, you have to give a little credit to Peter Mrazek, but he just hasn't been there enough this season to really give him the credit that he deserves. So there's Jack Campbell. Igor Shesterkin has been a really great goaltender for the Rangers and is taken over from Henrik Lundqvist pretty nicely. The Rangers haven't really fallen off the cliff in between the pipes since he left. He is 13-3-2 this season, a .937 save percentage, which is also very solid, a 2.05 goals against average. That is top 15 in the NHL this season. He has been very good for this team and has been a huge piece of the Rangers' success. You realize, here early in the month of December when he was injured, he got injured with a lower body injury. It sounded like a aggravation of his groin. The team struggled under Georgiev, and that's no discredit to Georgiev. It just shows how good Igor Shesterkin is for the Rangers, how valuable he is, and he has absolutely no doubt been one of the best goaltenders in 2021. And to pad that a little bit, just to confirm it, you look at, let's see if I could find this. He didn't even make the list for Team of the Year for goaltenders, which maybe you could argue he got snubbed of that because he has been just so good for the New York Rangers throughout last season and this season as well. But again, the injury thing will always come up as a concern, but he is Igor Shesterkin. Another goalie we absolutely have to look at today is Jacob Markstrom. Jacob Markstrom has been incredible. Now, his numbers have taken a dip here in the month of December, but Calgary Flames have also been hit with COVID and everything else. They've had 20 players on COVID protocol at a time when the shutdown happened. But Jack Campbell still putting up good numbers. He's had 21 starts this season. He's 10-6-5 in those starts. He's got a .933 save percentage as top 10 in the NHL. And you also look at his goals against average, which, again, is maybe a little inflated because of his 5 shutouts, but he has a 1.94 goals against average. He is tied for Jack Campbell in that category. And again, he leads the NHL in shutouts this season with 5. already this year. So basically every 4 games, Jacob Markstrom has had a shutout this season. That's basically a shutout per week. Really, really impressive from Markstrom, and it just shows you what we've gotten from him so far has just been nothing short of incredible, and a huge part of the Calgary Flames kind of breakout season we've seen so far. Another goalie we have to look at, obviously, is Tampa Bay Lightning goaltender Andrei Vasilevskiy. He is on the Team of the Year for the NHL 22's Hut team. Yeah, I don't really follow that, but I consider that just slightly here. Andrei Vasilevskiy winning the Stanley Cup in 2021, the Vezina Trophy as well, just to stack off the cherry on top. But Vasilevskiy has been very good this season for the Lightning as well. He, again, had a very slow start to the year. He looked a little bit off. Maybe that very short off season, he just didn't have enough time to rest. But it seems like he's kind of getting back into form now. He's had 24 starts, which is tied for the most in the NHL, alongside UC Saros and Tristan Jarry. 24 starts is the most right now. He's 17-4-3, so he, at this point, leads the NHL in wins this season for a starting goaltender, which is solid. So 17-4-3, a .928 save percentage. That's top 20 in the league, as well as his goals against average, which is a 2.14. Also caps that off with 2 shutouts to start this season. Again, obviously you account for earlier this season, he was very, very good for the Lightning. Went on that crazy playoff run, was basically unbeatable for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They had not lost a back-to-back game throughout the entire Stanley Cup playoffs, and that is the situation in Tampa, as Vasilevskiy just continues to be absolutely dynamite. Now, another goalie we have to mention here, and he kind of had his breakout season in this spring in 2021, as he was the heir to the throne of Pekka Rinne and pretty much retired Pekka Rinne for himself. UC Saros of the Nashville Predators. UC Saros is a guy that they've been waiting on for a couple years now. He's, I believe, 23, 24 years old, and he's finally hitting his stride in the NHL. And you look at his numbers so far this year, he's been very good. And you look at just some of his stats here. Through 24 games this season, he has 15 wins to his name, which is very impressive. He's got a .924 save percentage at his top 30 in the league. And he also is in top 15 for his goals against average, which is a perfect 2.22. So UC Saros, again, a guy that maybe took a little while to get going, but now that he is in form, he is a very good goaltender, a very productive goaltender for the Nashville Predators, and kind of like the Calgary Flames situation, has really been the stronghold of the defense, and not, to discredit each of those teams' defenses, but the goaltending has definitely gotten them out of some trouble and been extremely good. Now, another goalie we absolutely have to talk about, his kind of emergence going down to Carolina. He was with the Maple Leafs for a couple of years, and that is Freddie Anderson of the Carolina Hurricanes. A lot of this could be contributed to the very good defensive tactics of Rod Brind'Amour, the head coach of the Hurricanes, but he has been just really solid for the Canes this season. In 21 starts, he's got 16 wins to his name, 16-5-1, or 16-5-0. A .930 save percentage, that's top 15 in the NHL. And also you look at his goals against average, which is top 5 in the NHL. And you could argue, compared to the goalies ahead of him who are backup goalies, in terms of a starter, he has the best goals against average with a 1.93 goals against average. Freddie Anderson is the backbone of this team there in Carolina, and obviously Antti Raanta is a great backup. He only has 1 shutout, but it's not about that. He has been consistently on a nightly basis. He'll give up 1 or 2 goals at max. He doesn't really give up goals. So Freddie Anderson has just been so nice for them. A great addition. There were some questions in the offseason if Freddie Anderson would be a good starter someplace else other than Toronto. Has obviously proven that theory right, as he has been able to he was in the right system at the right time with a really good defense in front of him, and he's able to benefit from that. And he's taken full advantage of that opportunity and been the starter in Carolina, and it is what, at my point, would consider one of the best teams in the NHL this season so far. And then we have to get to the last goalie, and this one is a throwback. It's Jonathan Quick of the Los Angeles Kings. That's why I'm wearing the Kings jersey today. You couldn't go on this list without mentioning Jonathan Quick, who has had a really good start to this whole year. I mean, this whole season he has been very good throughout 2021. At the drop of the puck for the season earlier this year up until now, Jonathan Quick has really been good and kind of kept Cal Petersen as the backup there in LA, and he's never really gotten to round into form, and Jonathan Quick has just been their guy. So a couple of tough seasons for Jonathan Quick. He wasn't really living up to his expectations as a goalie, but man, you look at his numbers, he isn't up there at the top of the goals against average category, but you look at, let's see if I could find him here. He's not even there. He's not even on. Oh, okay. So he just barely makes the save percentage list in the top 20 at a .923 save percentage. He has 8 wins in his 19 starts. But again, you could argue a lot of that has to do with the LA Kings team in front of him. You know, he can only do so much. With a .923 save percentage, that's pretty solid in today's NHL. And again, it's not perfect, but he has been good enough. He's come back into form and is going to create an argument this summer. Could the LA Kings look to move on from him? Is it worth keeping him around a couple more years? That's kind of going to be the conversation in LA. Rob Blake has some big questions to ask himself this summer in between the pipes. But that is it for today's video, guys. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, you want to see the latest news around the NHL and more videos just like this one, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you again next time.